So let's talk about AI. Drawing on some really great insights from AI pioneer Andrew Ng, we're going to tackle a huge question for pretty much any business today. What does it actually mean to be a company that's great at AI?
You know, the question sounds simple enough, right? But the answer, well, it's way more interesting than you might think. It's definitely not just about having the flashiest tech. So what is it? What really separates the companies that are just, dabbling in AI from the ones that are fundamentally transforming because of it?
And believe it or not, the key to understanding the future of AI is actually hidden in the past. Yeah, I'm talking about your local shopping mall. It's a fantastic analogy that honestly makes the whole concept just click.
Okay, so let's start there. To really get how companies can win with AI, we first have to rewind and look at how they won and, more importantly, how they lost with the internet. I want you to think about this for a second. Back in the dot-com boom, a shopping mall could build a website, right? It could even sell a few things online. But did that make it an internet company? Like Amazon? No way. Andrew Ng tells this great story about a retail CEO who once told him, "Look, I have a website, Amazon has a website. We're the same." But of course, they weren't. Not even close.
And you can see the difference right here. It's a fundamental split in how they thought about things. On the one hand, you have the shopping mall that just kind of bolted a website onto its old way of doing business. But then you have a true internet-native company, like Amazon, which was built from the ground up to do things only the internet made possible. It wasn't just a new feature, it was a whole new way of thinking and operating.
So, this is the crucial point right here. An internet company isn't defined by having a website. It's a company that is just excellent at doing the unique things that the internet enables. Things that were literally impossible before. And what were those things? Well, for starters, true internet companies could run A/B tests constantly to figure out what customers wanted, letting them learn at a blinding speed. They could ship new code and new features daily or weekly, not just once a quarter. And maybe most importantly, they pushed decision-making way down the chain, from the CEO all the way to the engineers and product managers on the ground, because that old top-down way of doing things was just way too slow.
So how does all this connect back to AI? Well, you've probably already guessed it. The exact same lesson from the internet era applies directly to today. It's happening all over again. And this is the core of it all. Just taking your company and, sprinkling a few machine learning models on top doesn't magically turn you into an AI company. Nope, it just makes you a company that happens to use a little bit of AI.
And look, here's that same pattern again. The superficial way is just applying AI to your old, existing processes. But the AI native way, that's about re-architecting your entire company to do things that only AI makes possible. It is a complete and total shift in identity.
So what does a real AI company do well? Well, first off, they're strategic about getting data. They might even launch a product for free just to get the data they need. Second, they build unified data warehouses. Because if your data is stuck in 50 different places, nobody can connect the dots and see the big picture. They also are systematically, constantly on the hunt for things to automate with AI. And they create totally new jobs, like machine learning engineers, to actually build out this future.
Okay, so we get the what, but how does a company actually do this? How do you get there? Well, the good news is it's not some kind of dark magic. There's actually a playbook for this transformation.
And this is the really empowering part. Andrew Ng always makes this point. Companies like Google and Baidu weren't born as AI giants. They went through a systematic process to get there. And your company can too. It really isn't magic. It's a plan.
And here is that plan. You start small. Run a few pilot projects to get a feel for AI and build some momentum. Then you build your own in-house AI team. And this is so crucial. You provide broad AI training for everyone, not just the tech folks. Once you have that foundation, then you can develop a real company-wide AI strategy. And finally, you align all your communications so everyone, from your employees to your investors, is on the same page. So what does all this mean for you and for your company? Well, the path is there. It's laid out. But getting there, it requires a pretty big shift in how you think about your business.
I think this one quote just captures the entire idea perfectly. The goal isn't just to use AI. It's to architect your whole company around AI. To build an organization that, from its very core, is designed to be amazing at the new things AI lets you do.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought. Take a hard look at your own organization. Are you just bolting a website onto the old shopping mall, or are you trying to build the next Amazon? Because the difference between simply using AI and truly becoming an AI company, well, that's what's going to define the winners and losers of the next decade.